Sure. Good evening, everybody. September 8th, 6 p.m., Steele County Budgets, public meeting.
So again, normally the process for this is go through the handouts that I had available for everyone out front there. It goes over the budgets, and levy calculations as of the estimated tax notices when they went out. I also have some information regarding the other taxing districts available. If there's any questions on any of that, we can go through that. And then we will hear any comments, questions, concerns regarding the budget from the public. And then I believe at that point, we'll take those into consideration and you guys will set a date to do your final budget decisions for sometime this month.
So it's got to be done before the 10th.
10th of October, correct. With the change of the October meeting to the 12th, that puts us past the deadline for the budgets at that meeting. So we'll need to have a special meeting in September to finalize the budgets. So going over the 2021 tax levy for Steele County with all of the levies on it in the green. First, we came in with a total county levy of 92.20, and then the emergency medical of 5.18. Below that, you'll see calculations based on residential value of $100,000, which assesses $50,000 down to taxable value of $4,500. With the 2022 budgets, that levy calculates to $414.90, and below that you'll see, the 2021 levy was 0.08801, which was $396.05. The difference in that is a levy difference of 0.00419, resulting in 18.85. So right now with the estimated levies, the difference would be an increase on a residential structure of $100,000 value of $18.85 strictly for the county levy. That does not include any other taxing districts. And below that, you'll see the calculations for $100,000 value on commercial and ag land. That resulted in a difference of 20.95. There were no overall ag land valuation increases done for 2021. There were no commercial or residential across the board increases done for 2021 assessments either. The second sheet that was out there is the mill levy changes by taxing district from 21 to 22. So you'll see there at the top are the schools, followed by fire, city, the county levy, medical levy, and the townships below. The green means increases, obviously, the red means increases, followed by the green with the negative number included in that, which was a reduction. So reduction is generally good, which is green, and red generally increase. You'll see Carpenter down there at the bottom. If anyone has questions on Carpenter, they have contacted me, and they will be having a special meeting of their township to revise their budget. They're able to lower it at this point, but not increase it. So the county at this point is 4.19 mils over last year. And it's right in the middle of that page for you. The commission, when you guys looked at your pages for your budget and revisions, at the August meeting, you were closer to 10 mils over. And so we did do those cuts at that last meeting, and that resulted in bringing it down to 4.19 over last year currently. The larger sheet I had out there or in front of you for the commission is the overall taxing districts within the county. And the total levies for property located within those, including the township, school, fire district, along with the county and state levy. Cities are broken down at the bottom for you. Also, sitting on that front table out there are all of the budget hearing dates, times, and locations that were used for the estimated tax notices given by the taxing entities. If anyone has any other questions on levies for their specific districts. We have received some calls, but they were regarding another entity's levies also. So we've provided those for the public as well.
JDA, did we raise their mill levy?
JDA and the water board were raised based off their request, and you guys left them at the higher levy for the estimated notices. So yes, they are currently at an increase.
The JDA, what did they ask for?
They're at 3 for these estimated notices, and last year they are at 2.5. They've been at 2.5 for a while.
What's their max?
4.
What's
4
the
is
water?
max for water and JDA. Water board is at 3.5 for the estimated notices. They're normally previous years at 3.
So they both asked for a half mil.
They asked for more than that.
Yeah, what we get?
Yeah.
we-
Yeah.
But that's what we did.
Does the board have any questions regarding the handouts?
Hello? Can anyone there hear me? Hello?
County road, farm to market, and 5 mill county are all max mills.
Correct. And those will be consolidating, like we have discussed before. They'll be voted on in the future election. County roads also supplemented by the highway distribution fund.
This is Jackie Modrow. Can anyone there at the meeting hear me?
The max for the general fund is per century code 60 mils, so we do have leeway there.
You guys have any questions? on the handouts? If there is no questions from the board, I'll ask the public if there's any questions.
What's the total budget?
Would you
Last year
step
was
up to the microphone, please, Lance?
Last year you had a sheet that had like 2 years ago it was 2.1 million. Last year it was 2.3 million. Do you have that total?
Not on the sheet, no. I get that's in Excel, I can.
Well, when the general public comes to a budget meeting, mills don't mean a lot to people and don't use it every day, but numbers do.
The mills are what calculated the
I
tax.
understand that, but how do you not put a number with it? You know, so we know. Last year you had that sheet. This year you don't. Because I asked Randy the same question. I said, when does it go up? Is it 2.5 million this year? It's 2.7 million this year?
Right, but what you don't have is where the funds and the balances of the county have that go into that portion of it. I understand what you're
Right.
saying. I'm
Yeah.
just explaining, there's
Right.
more than just what they levy. It's based off of the revenues by all of the
Right.
departments submitted, as well as the cash balances of the county.
But you still have a projected number for next year, don't you?
I will get that for you, yes, give me 1 second, please. $2.867182. 2.8 million. 2,867,182.
So it's another $500,000 from compared to last year. So then I'll ask the same question I asked last year. What's it going to be next year? 3.5?
Eggland will probably go up next year.
One of last year.
Pardon me?
One of 2 years ago it did.
2 years ago, yes. Eggland right now is 93%. Is residential 93%, commercial 95.3%.
Yep.
And we're under what the state says.
The other question I got is at one of your last meetings in August, you discussed using the sales tax fund that has like $700,000 in it because your deficit spending. How come you don't use that more?
We just used it for a motor grader.
Right. And And you said you're gonna buy one in the next future, but I'm wondering why you carry it from year to year that high, if you're deficit spending.
Usually about 600,000 by the
Okay.
time we're done
Right.
at the end of the year. The projects that we're doing this year, we possibly will probably be using some of that this year. We have a County Road 11 project, and then we have a two bridge projects that we're gonna possibly do, both of them, all three next year.
The other question, the next thing I got is, I listened to the first hour that's available online in your last meeting yesterday. And there's a lot of questions about where Steele County stands with employee wages. Some of that's online. The Bureau of Labor collects it. And as far as spending weekly for the third quarter last year, and I realize it's not up to date today, but you're ranked 51st as far as what your budget is, which is right where Steele County is as a size. But compared to every other county in North Dakota, you're ranked 13th. So it's pretty high. I know there's lots of questions whether you're gonna spend 30 grand or whatever it's gonna cost to see where you're at. But the Bureau of Labor collects that data and it's right available, right online. So that's a tool you could use. Yep. I think that's all the questions I got for now.
Could you grab me a levy sheet from the front counter, please, for 2020? So I just want to follow up, Lance, so we're on the same page and help clear up a little bit of question you have. You said the total dollar amount levied last year. What sheet were you taking that number from when you compared to what we have, the number I gave this year?
That was one sheet.
Okay.
I can get it.
So that was at the point of when they were just doing an estimation for the levy, also for the notices. They then in turn pulled over all budgets for every office to the same as it was for 2019. So that number isn't true. That wouldn't be a true number to compare it to for this year.
But the year before would have been accurate.
Right, but did you have that? Is that
That
what
was
you
the
used?
point, wasn't it?
Okay, that's what I'm asking. What number did you use to come up with that?
Any other questions?
I've got some questions. Why is Finley Township at a 9?
What do you mean?
Why are we at 9 and everybody else, a lot of them are at 0, -8% or -8? We're one of the highest, except for Carpenter, and they're gonna have a reduction.
You'd want to talk to your township board, the Finley Township Board.
Is that their budget? See, I don't understand a lot of this, that's why I'm asking the question.
Township's budget for the township of
So
Finley.
they're projecting a budget that is extremely high compared to everybody else.
They had a vote and they increased their mills from 27 mills max to the 36, 100% increase up to 36 mills for their township.
So that's
This
where the
is
question
Jackie
has to be
Mojo.
asked.
Correct, with the township, what they're using for their extra mills for.
Okay,
Maybe they have culverts, I'm not sure. I don't question the townships, what they turn in.
no, you shouldn't. That's up to them to justify that. Absolutely, yeah.
Notices at the beginning of August of what their levy calculation comes out to be.
Okay.
Based off their budget.
I've never attended a township meeting, so I don't totally understand how it works. That's why I asked the question.
So once they get the notice of where their levy comes in at, they have the option to
Okay,
look at it and re-meet and lower
okay.
if they'd like.
Excuse me. Now, out of the information that was supplied to us, I don't see any sheets that discuss wages for county employees. Why aren't the public told what wages are? I mean, we're concerned about that. Everybody's concerned about wages. And I don't,
If you
yeah.
request them, I certainly can get you a copy of it.
But that should be provided before this meeting. So I can say, what's this and what's this? But it's after the fact, you're talking about providing stuff after the meeting's over. That's not going to help me ask questions tonight. So
I'll
that,
take
and,
that into consideration.
Can anybody hear me?
and something else I think the board needs to do, when I was looking at some of the figures, and I've had some of this stuff provided to me, there's some positions here that don't identify who holds that position, yet there's a salary attached to it. I think anytime you're submitting a budget to the public, they have a right to know who is getting, who fills that position, who's getting that money. So if one person has 5 positions, okay, we total all those together, that's their salary. And I think that's missing in all this paperwork I've seen. I see nothing telling who is holding what position. A lot of them are, we know that you're the auditor and we know that Carrie's the treasurer, but some of these positions, we don't know who's holding that job. And I'm curious as to who's in that position.
Do you
Another,
have something specific I can answer for you right now?
well, I kind of know because I have an inside track. I know who the HR person is, but nobody else does. A lot of people don't know. What's the other one? The risk manager? I know who the risk manager is because I've worked here for 18 years. I know all these. Superintendent of schools. I know who holds that position. However, that position has been vacated since 1995. Why are we funding it?
The office and budget have been, yes.
Yeah, that school superintendent has been closed by vote of the board since 1995. Yet we're still paying a salary to somebody to do that position.
Currently, there is no salary.
It's one in the budget.
There's one in the budget, yes.
Why are we requesting it if the position doesn't exist?
There is
There's
one in the
duties
budget.
attached to it still.
Doesn't matter. The position has been vacated. I don't care how many duties are attached to it. It's been vacated. Somebody wants to take that job on, fine. More power to them. But the board can't be paying somebody for a position that doesn't exist. I did a lot of extra jobs here when I was here. I've been with the county for 18 years. I did a ton of other jobs, but I didn't get paid for them. Didn't ask to get paid for them, but they needed to be done. When our boiler quit and our custodian was gone, I spent one whole winter babysitting that boiler down here every night, Saturday, Sunday, didn't matter, holidays, weekdays. I come in every morning and tended the boiler. I didn't get a nickel. I didn't even get a thank you for it. But I did it because it needed to be done, because I was a county employee and I felt that I owed the county that, and I owed the taxpayers that. But I didn't see any money for it. Of course, I didn't ask for any money for it. So is everything we do now do we have to, demand a salary for it? Don't we do anything anymore because we're a county employee, because we're loyal to the county? If I do this, you got to pay me to do this.
It's a different world now.
unfortunately not a better world, and I have to agree with you there.
I agree.
Yeah,
Just from my standpoint, because I know that that is specific to me.
yeah, for your job, yeah. Yeah.
So I just, to respond to that, I did put in the request. I think a lot of different offices put in for increases or requests for additional things that they're doing, because that has been a history in the past few years to pay employees additional to do little duties that they take on or do. There are many people here that are great employees that do extra, be it above and beyond their duties, just as you did. There
And
are
I
many
have,
of us that
and
do
I have
that.
no problem for those employees being, compensated for that.
Yep.
That's just good management.
I think, speaking for myself, do we all expect to get that amount that was put down?
No, no.
But did we put it down to make a point that maybe everybody should be treated equally and we need to look at all of the salaries equally?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And speaking of equal, does everybody get the cost of living raise? When you budget a cost of living raise every year, that goes across the board to everybody, right?
Yep.
And that's what they get. Why? Now, I worked for 18 years. I got cost of living raise. I appreciated that, absolutely. 2%, 3% was great. It helped me, ward off starvation. And it looked like I probably didn't do a good job, but anyway, if that's what we got, I looked at a history and I'm alarmed by that history. I'm shocked by it, really angered by it in some cases. I see 40% salary raise, not cost of living. I see 81% salary raise, 45% salary raise, 31% salary raise, 28%, 62%, 107%, 128%, 22%, 25%, 67%. This is a long ways over the 2 and 3% that the board approves. How in the heck is this happening? Why have we got a county our size paying people, $60,000, $70,000 a year? We're paying wages that are counties 4 times our size. Now, I don't blame people for getting what they can get. I'm a free market guy, absolutely. If someone will pay me, $100,000 to sweep the floors, I'll take the job. And I'll sweep the floors. I'll do a darn good job too. But how can we justify the cost of living raises that everybody else gets that doesn't get the boost over that to some of these increases that are astronomical? And I'm not a rocket scientist. I could figure this out. In a couple nights sitting down at home on my computer, I put this together and it just about knocked me off my chair. How in the world can we justify these salaries? You talk about taxes going up. And the tax raise this year isn't that bad. I'm not complaining about the tax raise this year. I think it's pretty darn good if I only get a, $28 increase in my taxes. I can live with that because costs go up. But I'm a little bit alarmed at what's going on with wages. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not talking, I know everybody here. I like everybody here. There's not a single person in this room or in this building that I work with that I don't like. I like all of you genuinely. But when I see this, I say, what is wrong? If I can figure it out, why can't you folks figure this out? Why can't you look at this and say, wow, you got, 20,000 last year, and now you're asking for 40,000. Gee, that's probably a good deal. We'll go ahead and give you a salary of 40. That's a 100% increase. How does this happen? That's a question that people are asking me. And I'm a nobody. But I've got people stopping me and saying, Don, what the heck is going on? And I just tell them, I don't know. You have to ask the question. I don't come in here and ask the questions. I am tonight because I think this has got to be made, public. But gosh, I'm, like I said, and I'm more power to people that can ask for it and get it. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm saying you can't give a handful of people 3% raise and give 4 and 5 or 2 or 1 other person a 60% raise. That's not fair. And the board, above all things, has an awesome responsibility. And that's to be fair to the taxpayers, fair to your employees, fair to people that you oversee. When that doesn't happen, I get a little upset. And I guess I don't know what the answer is. You know, and let me tell you, I have got at least 50 questions that I want to ask this board. I can't do it tonight because it's not on the agenda. This is a tax meeting. So this is not the right venue for me to talk about other issues. But I've got a truckload of issues that I want to bring up. And I think they need to be answered. And, well, first of all, they need to be asked. And I have no problem asking them. But they need to be answered too. And at some point, this has to happen. Now, it's not going to happen tonight, obviously, because, again, this is the wrong venue for that. But I've got a truckload of questions and some of them have come up over years. This is not just something I generated out of that I had a wild dream about and decided to ask a bunch of questions. Some of this has gone on for years. And because I worked for the county, I was loyal to the county. I said nothing. I kept my mouth shut. I did my job best I could do. But now that I'm no longer a county employee, now I'm a taxpayer. And now I have a responsibility to say, what the heck is going on? And again, no, I'm not saying this to be, mean to people. I like every one of you. Some of you are even my friends. But that doesn't matter. It's like my kids. They do something wrong, love them dearly, but I'm going to call them on it. And that's only fair that I do that. So I guess my question is, I've got a ton of other things that I like to talk about, but we got to figure out when and where. These questions are going to be asked. Make no mistake about that. And they're going to be asked before next election. And I'm the one that's going to ask them. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not doing it to be mean, to be, I just think that as a taxpayer, and when I see things that are wrong, I've always tried to fix things. I spent almost 35 years in law enforcement. My job is to go to things that are broken and try to fix them. And that's just ingrained in me. I see something wrong, I want to fix it. Doesn't have to benefit me at all. It's just that if I see something broke, I owe it to the people that I work for to fix it. And I see things broke right now. And I'm going to do my best to fix it. I may go down in flames, but I'm going to try. And all they can do is say, Don, go take a hike. But I thank you for letting me rattle on a little bit here.
Don, the last commission meeting, we kind of discussed what you first discussed. We started a conversation of looking at some of that stuff, possibly with the
Okay.
salary survey, things like that. So the discussion is starting. There's also a lot of other things going on in the county too, so we're trying to work through a little of that too. Obviously, budget is something we're working through right now.
Yeah.
So just so you
This
know.
isn't set.
Yeah.
We have a lot of wages to work with. There was a lot of things that were possibly gonna happen, changing
Sure.
some offices.
Yeah.
None of that's set yet.
Okay. Yeah.
This is-
And I understand that. And you guys got a job I don't envy. I mean, I know it's tremendously complicated.
I feel as a board, I think we try our hardest to figure out everything here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
No, it's not an easy thing to do, but
Those questions though that you have, why don't you go on our October agenda and bring them to us?
I could do that, certainly, yes. I have, I have no problem. I really think they need to be asked and,
If you wanna send them to us before, so we can try to work on answers for you. We don't have the answers that day, send them to us.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point too. I think that, there's a lot of people asking these questions. It's not just me.
And
People ask me and I say, I don't know. I don't
There's
know.
nothing about any of the county business that's private, it's all public.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah. And that's one of the reasons why, and I openly admit that I was a supporter of Measure Two. I hate secrecy. I hate privacy. When you work for the public, when you're an elected official, you don't get that privilege. If you run your own corporation, you do what you want. You can have all the meetings you want, all the secrets you want, go for it. When you work for the taxpayers, you don't get that. And I mean, we all know our federal government's totally broken. It's a mess. I just hope our local government's not broken, because that affects all of us. I love this county dearly. I enjoy all the people here. I respect the people here. But I just think, and if I can figure this out, why can't you folks look at this and say, something's wrong?
Well, wages is just one topic. We also have a lot of road issues to work
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's way over my
Prices
head.
Keep going up and up.
Yep,
And
yep.
if
And
we
that's
don't-
why I have no problem with an increase in my taxes. I realize that we got roads to fix. We got things that are broke other than, things.
We're a small county. We realize that, and we're not just out trying to spend
Yep.
money just for the.
No, and I know that too. And I know that, you guys do a job that, certainly I don't envy the position that you're in. But I just wish that things were better, and I can discuss some of that at, the next meeting if you like. I just wish I could, if I had a magic wand, I could fix things. I can't, because all of you are good folks, and I like you, and so it makes it very difficult, very hard for me to come in and complain to people that I care about, that I know, So it's not easy to do, and I hesitated. I've had many sleepless nights over this. I go to bed at midnight, and I'm looking at the clock at 7 a.m, and I haven't slept a wink because I'm thinking about this stuff, and it bothers the
Bring these
heck out of me.
questions to us, and we'll see what we can answer.
Okay,
If we have good answers or not.
yeah. Well, like I said,
When you say they've been going on for years, it's gonna be tough for some of us to answer some of the questions.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do our best.
okay, yeah. Well, good, that's all I can ask, is that I can ask the questions and you guys give me your best response. Can't ask for any more than that.
We'll give it our best.
I thank the board for putting up with me.
I'm glad you can.
Yep, thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don.
Any other questions?
More.
At your previous meetings, you guys discussed that it's a good place to work here. We got an awesome benefit package. What's that worth? Is there a number?
As far as all the benefits?
Is it worth 10,000? Is it worth 20,000? Is it worth?
What the employees hired at, what benefits packages they do choose.
What's the average? It's got to be a ballpark number that you can throw out. Is it worth 13,000?
Off that sheet I gave you of $45,000 wage was hired at and what the benefits package came to. Let's see.
Around 9 or 10.
Our county has very good benefits. Just the retirement alone, I believe that, way back, I think when I worked for the county in 98, 2002, instead of giving a raise that year, they paid the employees retirement portion, I believe, is that correct?
Yeah.
It's always done. Well, not always.
Maybe enough.
Oh, it changed when I worked here, I know
It's
it's,
been that way since '89.
I thought when I started here, we had to pay our own share. I'm mistaken. I thought that was a recent change too.
It's the only, Steve Nolan's one of the first ones that did.
Okay.
Probably were the first.
I've never had a pay.
Just to give you a ballpark, on a wage of about approximately 43,000, the benefits package a few years ago was roughly worth 11,320. If you go off of, say, that a wage today of 78,000, give or take, including all of the benefits, the package right now would come to approximately 28,804. So it does vary depending on the salary, but there's a range for you. Depends on if they choose the family plans, which are covered at 75%, or they have a single plan at 100%. And all of the requirements are based off of a percentage of their salary. Yeah, that's what I was looking for to calculate it. So, thank you.
I had it there.
How much do you take that into consideration when you're figuring out raises? You know, you're making $65,000 a year and you got $10,000 bump in there, that's $7 or $8 more an hour.
I don't think anybody's asking for a $10,000 raise unless they're trying.
No.
Doing a job change.
Not a $10,000 raise, but a $10,000 benefits package on top of their salary. That's a pretty good bump from the county compared to what a lot of their wages are in Steele County, compared to a lot of other counties that are in North Dakota. You're still number 13 compared to every other county right now. That's $26 an hour for an average. That's the only number I was wondering. Thanks.
Any other questions? If not, I would like to set a next meeting date for to finalize our budgets. There's a certain day that works better for you guys or doesn't work for you guys? We do it Monday night?
It's not coming Monday?
Well, on Monday night. Does that work for you guys? Doesn't work?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Should we do the 20th?
Sure.
September 20th at 7 PM?
That'll work.
7? Okay.
Or do you want an afternoon meeting or 7 PM there?
That'll work for me.
Russell?
Yep, it works, whatever, 13th, 20th, whatever.
Okay, we'll just stay there, September 20th, 7 PM. I appreciate everybody that came to the meeting tonight. We're still gonna be working on our finalizing our budgets and trying to get them down as low as we can. We realize we have some wage issues we're working on. We haven't hit on that really yet. But we wanted to start working on that soon. Any other questions before ask for motion to adjourn?
Can anybody hear me?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Hello?
Motion made by Brian, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brian, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.